sweatshirt. I'm a little hot. Hey, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this 90-Day Fiance review of season 6. And this is episode, what, 19, Dustin?
19.
Yes, episode 19. And I believe, Dustin, you told me earlier today that we've got one more episode and then we've got the tell-all. Is that right?
One more episode. We got the tell all, and then we're going to start the new show. So
Absolutely.
Jonathan and I are going to be covering 90 Day Fiance
Before the 90
before the
days,
90
right?
days. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So we only had 3 couples that we were shown in this particular episode. So let's start with James and Natalia, just to get them on out the way, because Natalia is starting to work my nerves, much like Miss Statler. Whatever her name is, child. Is that her name, Statler? Yes, Statler.
Yes.
She's starting to work my nerves like Statler. And apparently,
Statler, yep.
Natalia is not the only emotional person in the family, because when Natalia told her sister and her friend that that James wants to go back to the U.S., they started crying all together. And it's like I get it. I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but it's just I guess with me never being in these types of situations and not having to feel the push and pull of choosing your family over your significant other, and I understand that could be hard. So so in her mind, yes, her emotions are valid. It's just that for me, it's an every episode type of thing, and I'm just a little bit more than a little bit tired of seeing it. I just really am, and it seems like they really won't be able to come to a decent compromise because they're in 2 separate places. Yes, they had a great wedding, but it seems like it was the day after the wedding, James has a conversation with Natalia and says, yeah, we got to go back to the US. And Natalia is not here for it. And I get it. I really do understand why Natalia does not want to go back to the US, because she feels like she's going to be alone. And I would not want to be somewhere where I don't feel like I have family or friends around me, because I would literally feel like I'm alone. Yes, she has James there, and yes, that's her husband, but she doesn't have her family, her community there. And I get that. I really do understand that. And once again, I get why she's so emotional. I really do understand why she's so emotional, and I do not want to invalidate any of her emotions. It's just that for me, as for William Jonathan Lee, I'm just a little bit tired of seeing her crying every single episode. But I get it. I do get it. I do get it. Dustin, where do you see this couple going? Can they really move forward? I don't know.
No, they can't move forward, Jonathan. I don't see it moving forward. I see them cutting ties with it all, to be totally honest with you, because I don't think it's going to be a good idea for them to cut. I think it's going to be a good idea for them to not to move forward like this.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to watch. And then, we saw Natalia's mother comforting her as well. So I'm not sure if or when James is going to reveal to Natalia's parents that he wants to move her back out to the U.S. But I guess they're really not, there's no need to really have the conversation until they've actually made a decision as to whether they're going to go back to the U.S. Or not. But I feel bad for both of them. I really do. They're really, both of them are truly caught between a rock and a hard place, the hardest of rocks and the hardest of hard places. And it's so unfortunate because, again, I see the genuine love between the two. Lady Virgo says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lady Virgo. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I can't imagine the emotions. And once again, I really do get why Natalia is so emotional about this, because she's feeling right now that she has to choose between her husband and her family. And I cannot imagine having to feel as though it's a necessity for me to make that decision when she has so much love for her family and she has so much love for James. You can see it, Dustin. You can see that they're truly in love with one another, and possibly, besides Shekinah and Sarper, probably the most love I've seen between a couple in this particular series that we're watching right now. I do see that they truly love one another. And under the perfect circumstances, they will be perfect together, and they will be able to live a long and very, very happy life. But because of the two places that they find themselves in. I can't see James living in Indonesia, working in Indonesia because he doesn't even know the language and being able to support them. So I get why he needs to go back to the US. But at the same time, Natalia doesn't want to go back to the US because she's going to be alone. Dustin,
and
is
I
there
and
any
I
way?
understand. I understand I understand both of their sides, Jonathan. I really do. I understand his side. The reason why he is going back to the United States because he don't have enough. He don't have enough money to to extend being there for the long term. And I also understand her side because she feels very alone, just like I do at times, Jonathan. As you currently know, I feel very alone. And sometimes I feel very alone a lot of the time.
Right,
So
but thankfully you're not alone. But I feel
yeah,
alone sometimes as well. I think that's something that everybody goes through. Robin's in the chat. Hey, Robin. Robin says, "Hey, y'all. Hey, Robin. So glad you're here with us today." I
thank
was
you.
going to ask you
Mm,
if you're sipping on something, but that might be out of line. I
mm.
don't know if I want to ask you that. But girl, I'm
Yeah,
glad that you are here with us today. So, Dustin, do you think that there's any solution? Because I can't think of any way that they can work this out that where
no,
both of them are going to be
I
happy.
honestly I don't think that I don't think there is a way to them to work it out. I really don't. Mm,
Yeah, I don't see
I
it
just
either.
don't.
And it's so sad because they are so clearly in love. They're I saw the moment that they met again when James got off the train station and initially
Hmm.
got into Indonesia at the beginning of this particular season. I saw the love between them and it's so fresh and it's so young and vibrant and it is and they're ready to blossom and they're ready to take the next step forward. But along with the fact that James is really not interested in having any children, I think
Well,
Natalia
hmm.
really needs to recalibrate her thinking as far as whether she really wants to be with James or not. And
Right.
right now, it does not seem like it would be the best decision for Natalia to stay with James.
I
He's
think
not
it.
willing. Go ahead,
I
Destiny.
I think it would be better off if they would just move forward with with different people because feel for her because I've I'm not alone now, but I do have points where I do feel alone. But I know I'm not alone because I have my team and my
Right.
best friend right by my side. So I'm not alone, but feel bad for them as well. I
I
really do.
do because they're in love, and to have to make the decision or come to the conclusion that the best thing for us to do, although we are in love, is for us to live separate lives because our life will not be cohesive if we were to bring them together because they won't be happy in Indonesia. James definitely won't be happy in Indonesia, and Natalia won't be happy in the U.S. And so it's best that they just take go their own separate ways, as sad
Right.
as that is to see and as sad as that would be for especially for Natalia to go through. And I'm sure it would be devastating for James as well because he loves Natalia and he's done a lot for Natalia. He's been supporting her, maybe not in the way that I would expect him to because he's not like the most supportive husband. Like sometimes he
Mm-mm.
lets her go off on her own to kind of do her little crying. It seems like her parents are more sensitive to her emotions. I think James really doesn't know really what to do with her emotions, which is understandable. But
Mhm.
it's just the saddest of situations because you see that the love is so genuine. And there's just no way that it's going to work out between the two of them. Robin
Mhm.
says at least she gives tears. On Sister Wives, Robin cries through every single episode, and excuse me, and it's many years in. I have never seen a tear drop from her eyes. Yeah, yeah. I've never watched Sister Wives. I'm really
I
not
have,
interested.
I have, I
Okay.
have, and she's telling the truth. She is really telling the truth because I quit watching Sister Wives just because of that reason.
Wow.
Sister Wives has a terror is a not a good show to watch, Jonathan. So I wouldn't recommend it to you. There's no way because I wouldn't cover it, and I would expect you to cover it because it's gotten terrible.
Yeah,
As the season goes on, it's gotten terrible, and it's only gotten worse. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
my
No, thank
opinion
you.
on it is, if that works for you, having multiple partners, as long as all parties involved are okay with the situation, then go for it. But as for me, I'm a one man type of man. I only want one
Mm-mm.
man. I only want your focus to be on me. I only want to be focusing on one man. That's it. But it is what it is. If y'all like it out there, do what makes you happy. Robin
Thank
said
you.
in the comments, but didn't Natalia go back to Indonesia because she was physically ill? Was she really? I guess this might have been covered on a previous season of 90 Day
It was
Fiance. Was
covered on last season. It was covered on last season.
okay. Do you know exactly what her illness was, Dustin, or was she
No,
just
they
not
didn't. They
feeling
didn't. They
well?
didn't say. They didn't really say what it was. So I can't
Okay,
really. I can't really say what it was, or I can only speculate from what I heard. I don't want to speculate, so I don't really want to
right.
say. I don't really
Yeah.
know what her illness was. So
Because it wouldn't
yeah,
surprise me if she just used that as an excuse just to get back to her family. But I don't want to negate
yeah.
whether she was ill or not because I did
Mm-mm.
not watch. So if she was ill, so be it. When I got ill, I moved from Atlanta, which I had been living out there for a couple of months. Came right back to Columbia, South Carolina, to get treatment. So that's what we do when we get sick. Robin also says in the
Mm.
comments, maybe they need to find another country to move to if they stay together. Neutral ground for both. See, that's the thing, Robin, with them. I don't know what a neutral ground would look like for both of them because maybe if both of them get out of their comfort zones and go to just some random
Mm.
country, maybe they could find happiness there. But again, both of them would have to be able to work. And again, I don't think Natalia is working at all. I haven't heard her talking about working whatsoever. So,
Right. I
and
don't
I'm
think she's.
assuming,
I don't think she's worked from. I don't think she's worked at all because I never heard about her working. So
okay.
uh, I don't think she's ever worked. Ever since being on this show anyway, because I never heard nothing about her working, so I don't know if she's worked before the show or what she's done. But as watching this show, I never seen her working there before, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Bianca's in the chat. Hey, happy
Hey,
Monday,
Bionica.
everybody. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. We love you, girl. So yeah, it would be great if they could find some type of happy medium, but in this case, I don't believe there's any happy medium that would end with the both of them together, living in the same country, being
Right.
happy. I just don't see how that could happen. I really don't. And
Mhm.
so that's why I feel like it's best for them to just go their separate ways.
Mhm.
But again, that's sad to say because they're clearly in love. And I
Mhm.
guess it's sort of like the Rihanna song. They found love in a hopeless place. There's no
Uh,
place for them to be happy together. So that's
right.
just sad for me to see because I do see the love
Correct.
between them. But
I
let's
see the
move.
love. I
Yes,
definitely, I
yes.
definitely see the love. Mhm.
Right. That's why I like shows like this, and that's why I'm so glad that you introduced me to 90 Day Fiance, Dustin.
Oh,
Although
you're
my
welcome.
mother had been watching it for years and years until we started doing reviews on it. I had never watched it before, so that's why I'm glad that I'm watching the show because love is my favorite subject, y'all. I love love. So let's move
Mhm.
on to Statler and Dempsey. So Statler and
Okay.
Dempsey, when I saw the preview for this episode, Dustin, I really thought that this was going to be the end of their relationship and we were going to see it in
Mhm.
4K. I
Me
really
too.
thought that we were going to see them break up on this episode, but that's not what happened. They decided to take a train.
Right.
Apparently, when Statler ordered the train or got the tickets for the train, it
Mm.
wasn't what she expected it to be when they actually ended up on the train. But hey,
No.
it is what it is. I don't
Okay.
know what. I guess she really thought they were actually going to be on a train itself. But anyway, so Statler asked for Dempsey to fix the table that's in the bus for
Mhm.
them. And Statler's taking this position as, well, I'm the one that's working, so you need to do something as well. I need you to find something to
Well,
do with your time. And to me, it feels like, okay, if you knew that Dempsey was not going to be working, why do you find yourself complaining about it now?
thank you.
Because you're the one that has to work and Dempsey's off doing whatever it is that she wants to do. I'm thinking that it has something to do with her lack of trust. I'm thinking that she
Mm.
doesn't necessarily trust Dempsey, which I can understand why she may not trust her. I don't know if they've had any type of infidelity issues before. I don't believe they
I
have.
I don't I don't know if they had any kind of problem like that. So I can't really say about that because I don't really
Yeah.
know what their problems have been. like I said, we only see what TLC wants us to see. We don't see what goes on behind closed doors. I don't know if I want to see what goes on behind closed doors. Um, but uh, we just see what TLC puts on the TV, and
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, Robin says down in the comments, that's what I mean, not Indonesia or the USA. Well, if I get what you mean, Robin. It's just that it would have to be a perfect setup. Like, he'd have to be able to live somewhere where he can find where he can find work. But at the same time, Natalia is going to have an issue regardless of the fact, because if she's not in Indonesia, Natalia is not going to be happy. Natalia wants to stay in Indonesia so that she can be with her family. That is Natalia's entire point with this entire conversation, is that she wants to be with her family. And if she's not in the
great.
same country as her family, Natalia is not going to be happy, and she's going to continue with her emotions. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm not sure if that particular idea, Robin, would work, because if Natalia's not in Indonesia with her family, she's not going to be happy. That's
Right.
just my viewpoint on it. I'm not sure if
Mm-hmm.
you have the same
My,
viewpoint, Robin
I
or
have the
Dustin.
same. I feel the same way you feel, Jonathan, and I'm pretty sure you know how I feel about this couple on here by now.
Yeah,
They need to move on, move forward. Both of these companies, both of these people. I want the best for everybody, Jonathan,
right.
and it doesn't matter if you're on TV or not. I want the best for everybody that's around me. My best friend is on camera. I want the best for Jonathan, and I know that Jonathan wants the best for me as well. So
Absolutely.
I just want everybody to be happy at the end of the day, and I think it would
Right.
be better. I think it would be better off if people would just just if it ain't gonna work out for you, then why be why be miserable? Um,
Exactly.
that's just my opinion on that question.
Right. Yeah, you just have to do what works best for you. But to be
Right.
honest, Dustin, I was kind of tuning Statler out during their scenes. I'm sorry. I'm just over Statler. And
Well,
I feel so bad for Dempsey, because you
I
can
was
tell
kind of
how much
fast.
Dempsey loves Statler.
I was kind of fast forwarding through uh fast forwarding through the scenes, to be
Yeah.
truthfully honest with you, because I have HBO Max and I can fast forward. I have the HBO Max app and I can fast forward to, and that scene there, I didn't want to see it. So, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but they
Mhm.
did come to the conclusion that, if they can't make each other happy, they wanted to put a timeline on it. I think they said a little bit more than a
6 months,
month.
like 2 months, maybe one or
Yeah,
2 months.
like
Yeah.
1 or 2 months, that they were going to
Hmm.
see if they're in a better place after this time period that they give themselves, and they'll go their separate ways. So I'm glad that they have at least the communication part down pat. It's just that Statler has to work on her communication, because for me, it has to be genuine. And I don't think
Mm-mm.
Statler's communication is always genuine. I think
I'm
Statler's
just gonna.
communication,
I don't think that. I don't think that any other communication is. I'm not gonna say all of it, but I think most of it is not a genuine conversation, Jonathan. I think that they're just better off apart. They are better off apart because they don't. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Uh, to be on this show and then turn around and do what they're doing on this show, because this show is called a 90 Day Fiance the Other Way for a reason. So now you're supposed to be
right?
getting married. Now, come on now. You might be married, but you might not be. Or I don't know if they're married, or are they married now? I don't know if they are or not.
They're
But
not. They've had the conversation. I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes ago, while they were getting their portrait painted in France. Statler was saying that, she was the one that would be proposing. So no, they're not married just yet.
well, see, then there's nothing. Why are they on a show if it's about marriage? If they ain't married, that don't make no sense to me.
Yeah,
Mm,
Statler's conversation always serves Statler and Statler only. Statler
correct.
does not uh, consider anyone else's feelings, anyone else's emotions, anyone else's points of view. It has to be what Statler wants, and that's all that matters to Statler.
Mhm,
Robin says um, Statler needs the time to find someone else to move in and on with. That's why the time limit. Yeah. It seems like Statler just has to find someone who will be able to cater to Statler the way that Statler wants to be catered to. Dempsey just simply does not have the time or the patience for Statler and her mood swings and her anxiety. I'm going to use quotes when I say anxiety because I don't see no anxiousness, but her anxiety.
I don't see no anxious. I don't see no. And I can agree with you on that one, Jonathan, because I don't see no anxious on her part.
No.
My situation is very hard on me, as Jonathan knows, and I have more rough days than probably she does. I'm just gonna say that, and it's probably the truth because there's some days I don't feel like doing a darn thing, and there's some days I can do something. But I'm just saying my situation is not the most easy situation. It's not easy for me at all. One day I can be okay, and the other day I can be not so okay. So that's just me.
Right, exactly. But yours is genuine, Dustin, because I understand you and I know you. I've seen Statler for 10 plus episodes now, and she has not shown me any sign of any type of disorder or any type of hindrance from her being like a quote normal person. Normalities can be different for everyone, so that's not generally everyone's sense of normality is not the same. But Statler just comes off as annoying to me.
I'm just saying that for the people that's in the back. I know that the people probably listening in the back that don't understand where I'm coming from, but I know you do because you know my best friend, you know everything. So I'm just saying that for the people that's in the back because I want them people to understand where I'm coming from with this situation.
Absolutely, it's just that Statler comes off as non-authentic to me. I don't feel like we're getting who she is like off camera, but I feel like she doesn't give her true self to her significant other. I feel like she just does things that serve her and her only, and I cannot stand that in the least. So I'm assuming, Dustin, you've already said in our previous reviews that they're not together anymore. I believe Robin has stated that.
No, they are not together no more. They are not together no more. And I've seen the previews for the tell-all, Jonathan.
Oh, they're out?
They're out now. I think I'm gonna send them to you, Jonathan.
Please do. I'd love to see
it. To you. I'll send them to you so that you can see it. But they weren't sitting together at the tell-all. If I can find them again, I'll send them to you.
Okay.
Sometimes I can try to find it. Sometimes I can't find it. So
it's okay. I'm sure it's probably on YouTube.
Yeah, but I'll have to look on YouTube. And if you can find it, you send it to me.
Okay, I will. Yeah.
But they're not sitting together at the tell-all. They're sitting apart.
Okay.
And that's a big thing to me for them to be sitting apart. If you're supposed to be in love with that one another person, talking about marriage in the future, or talking about marriage in the future, even though they're not together. They're talking about this current season that's on TV. So everybody that's seen this is gonna think that they're together and they're really not together. So I just want to say that real quickly, Jonathan.
Yeah, no problem. So neither one of us would like to see them together anymore. I really don't want to see Statler on this show anymore. I would love to see Dempsey back on this show with someone who kind of is on her same level of maturity, because I find Statler to be extremely immature, acting like a baby all the time, wanting to be babied all the time, wanting to be taken care of all the time, wanting to be coddled all the time. That's just annoying to me. So I'm not necessarily here for it.
Well, I would like to see Dempsey at Jonathan. I'd like to see Dempsey on the regular 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, with someone that's on her level.
Yes, that's in America.
So you'd want to see Dempsey with another American?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we'll see if that happens. I don't know. We might see Dempsey back on this series. But let's go to Shekinah and Sarper. So Shekinah, it's been a couple months since her nose surgery. She says that Sarper has been taking really, really, really good care of her, making sure she does her exercises, making sure she does all the things that she needs to do for recovery. She said that this recovery was a little bit worse than her other two nose jobs, but she's trying to do better. She has also gotten the results of Sarper's visa. His visa has been approved for both of them to move to the States, and so she decides to dress up in this really, really sexy black dress. Every girl has a little black dress, and this nice blonde wig. I liked the wig that she was wearing, and she's going to wear this attire to give the news to Sarper that his visa has been approved so that they can move to the U.S. together. Now, something tells me, Dustin, that she dressed up because she knows that Sarper is not interested in moving back to the U.S. And although Sarper told us that he hasn't told Shekinah yet that he doesn't want to move back to the U.S., I feel like if Shekinah felt like she had to dress up to give him this news, this was not a celebration type of thing. It seemed like she wanted to butter him up a little bit to give him this news, as if he would need a reason to take this to take this news well. But anyway, so the way Sarper looked at Shekinah in that outfit, you could see the lust in Sarper's eyes. He wanted to tear her apart. He wanted to break her down. He wanted to do everything in the book to Shekinah when he saw her. His eyes, like, I just saw the fire in his eyes. And so Sarper, being the control freak that he is, I get it. He always seems to kind of want to one up Shekinah anytime that she does something. Anytime she does something for him, he feels like he has to do something for her in return, because he feels like he's not doing enough if he's not doing as much as she is. And so when Sarper went back into his room, Dustin, and put on that little outfit that he put on, and he started to do a little bit of a striptease for her, and then he revealed that he used to be a stripper. And him stripping caused his family to pressure him into getting married, and that's why his first marriage didn't necessarily work out, because he didn't love his significant other in that marriage. Sarper, let me tell you this: you may not need the money, but if Sarper was working at a gay club, he would get all the money, all the coins. If he had an OF account, he would have all the subscribers. Like, Sarper has what the boys want to see, Hattie. Okay, Sarper, you got it. Okay,
believe me, I know he would, because he's hot. He's a very hot person to me. He's very nice looking in my eyes, Jonathan. So yeah, I know he would make a lot of money.
Absolutely. Robin says, okay, finally she said, finally, Robin says in the comments, okay, I'm finally there. I see the love between Sarper and Shekinah. Yes, I'm glad you see it. I'm glad you see it, Robin. I think in this particular episode, we mainly saw like the lust between them, not necessarily the love between them. But I do feel like as though that they love one another. It's just that I wish that they were a little bit better with their communication, because Sarper told one of his friends while I think he's in Turkey now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's in Turkey now, yeah.
Yeah, he told one of his friends that he was going to propose to her to try to convince her to stay in Turkey so that they don't have to move out to the U.S. Like, for me, Sarper, if you had no desire to go to the U.S., why even go through with the visa? Maybe at the time that they applied for the visa, he did want to move to the U.S., but something tells me that Sarper never had any intentions on moving to the U.S., and he probably always felt that the Shekinah that he used to know, because Shekinah has gotten better and has grown in the last couple of months or the last year or so. She's got a little bit stronger. She's making better decisions for herself. She's putting herself first and not putting Sarper first. Maybe that would have worked with the old Shekinah, but the new Shekinah probably ain't going to fall for that. So what were your thoughts on that?
It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna fly with the new Shekinah, Jonathan.
No,
there's no way that Shekinah will put up with this, and I don't expect her to.
No,
she doesn't need to put up with this at all, and I don't expect her to, because it's just gonna take her down. It's
Yeah,
going to take her down, and she's already, in my opinion, she's already down to her ending with him.
yeah.
I don't think that she can handle it much anymore at all. I just think it would be better off if they would just cut their ties and say, I wish you the best, and we need to move forward. Uh,
I just have to be a little bit selfish, Dustin. I don't
mhm.
want them to break up because I want to keep on seeing Sarper, honey. I want to continue seeing him on my screen, preferably with his shirt off. You know what I'm saying?
I do too.
If you don't want to, have too many clothes on, Sarper, you know what I'm saying? I want to see it. But anyways, here's my thing with my main issue with Sarper is his issue with the truth.
Yes.
Because when after they, did their first therapy session and she asked him, has he made his next appointment? And he automatically said yes. And she kind of picked up on the fact that if he had made that appointment, he would have told me by now. So I don't believe him
Mhm.
when he says he has made that appointment, and he
Mhm.
later admitted that he had not made the appointment, that he lied. So the fact that he's
Right.
able to lie so quickly and so easily, and thankfully Shekinah knows Sharper well enough to be able to pick up on the fact that he's lying. So I think that's a really good thing. But the fact that Sharper still feels like he can treat Shekinah the way that he used to, he has to adjust to the new Shekinah and figure out how it is that they're going to be able to manage their relationship now. Because I don't know if Sarper likes the new Shekinah. I don't know
So
if he
so
necessarily respects the new Shekinah.
so do you think that this is gonna continue going on like this, Jonathan? Do you
I
really think? Do you really
honestly
think?
don't
Hmm.
think she will, Dustin. I'm just crossing my fingers that she will. I don't think she
Okay.
will. I really don't think that she's going to find herself, especially after Sarper tells her that he doesn't want to go to the U.S. I think that might be
All
a
right.
deal breaker for Shekinah, because I think Shekinah is tired of living in a foreign country and tired of not being close to her daughter. That's
Mm-hmm.
living in the U.S. now. I believe her daughter is in her teenage years at this time, and so I feel like him
Who's
telling
the
her that he doesn't want to go to the U.S. is going to be
hmm
the biggest deal breaker for both of them, and I think that's going to let us know where they go from here.
who is the child with her dad? Is it with her dad or with her
I'm
with?
assuming that the child is with the dad. I don't think she really delved into those particular details. All I know is that the child I believe, if I remember correctly, the child is a teenager and is living over in the States. I don't remember her explaining anything about the child's father or anything of that
Okay.
nature. So
I
I don't
just
know what's going on with
okay.
that. But I do feel like when Sarper tells Shekinah that he doesn't want to go to the US, that she's probably going to break up with him. And I'll feel so
Right.
bad for them. And I don't know if Sarper will be able to let go of Shekinah, because I see how much Sarper loves Shekinah. Like,
So
it's
do you
not
think?
just a fact that he feels like he can control her. He truly
Do,
does love her.
do you think that he's gonna move? Because if you feel like I feel like the same way. But do you think that he's gonna move for her? Because I don't think he's wanting to move that far away
If
from
if he
where he's
knows
from.
if he knows what's good for him, if he wants to stay in this relationship, then he will move for Shekinah. But I feel as though this is going to be the
I think it's
breaking
going to be the
point
end
for
of the.
both of them.
I
Yeah,
think that's good. I think that's going to be the ending point for this relationship because I just don't feel like he's going to move at all. To be totally honest with you.
it's going to be their breaking point. I feel like they'll have to make the decision as to whether they're going to stay in Turkey or go to the U.S. I don't think they're in as much of a dire straits as Natalia and James are. I think they're both ready
Hmm.
and willing to do whatever it is the other one wants to do. It's just that
Sure.
there probably have to be some convincing to go along the way, because I do feel like their love is genuine. I do feel like that they have a very strong relationship. I'm surprised that they're not married. They do act like a married couple, at least to me. But I really feel like him telling her that he doesn't want to move to the US is going to be their breaking point. And I think both of them will be able to make their decisions right then and there, whether they're going to stay together or not. Again,
Right.
I only want them to stay together so I can keep on seeing Sarper on my screen. But, if
I'm in the
they,
same boat. I'm in the
right,
same. I'm in the same boat as you are, Jonathan.
But it's they have to do what's best for the both of them individually. And
Right.
I think Shekinah is even though she hasn't necessarily voiced this fact, but I feel
Right.
like she's a little bit tired of living in Turkey, and I think she wants to get closer to her daughter and get back to the States, and that's clearly her plan, especially with getting Sarper his visa, and with Sarper not really feeling it. I don't know
So do
how.
you think? And
I don't know.
another question I have for you, Jonathan. Do you think that she filed the paperwork without him knowing for the visa, or do you think that he knew about the visa and he just forgot about it?
I'm sure he knew about the visa because he didn't seem surprised when she told him that he was approved for his visa. So the fact that he wasn't surprised by that fact tells me that he was well aware that she had applied for a visa for him. Now,
Because I didn't
whether
know.
she
I didn't
what
know he even applied for the. I didn't even know that she even applied for the visa until she got approved.
now
Because I thought they was already living. I thought they was already living there
the
for
question may
permanently.
be whether he knew that she applied for it initially. Now, I'm not sure if he knew when she initially
Yeah.
applied for it and he just kind of
Hmm.
went along with it and was like, oh, yeah, babe, that's a great idea. But he definitely knew somewhere along the line because when she told him that the visa was approved, he didn't seem surprised whatsoever. So,
Yeah.
once
I
again, I
just
hope that
didn't.
they stay together for their
Me too.
love and for the beauty that is both Sarper and Shekinah, more so Sarper, of course. But that's why I would want them to stay together because I do see the love. But I think
Yeah.
this is going to be their deal breaker, and I would hate to see them break up. I really hope, Dustin, that they can work this out, and Sarper
I hope
just sucks it up and
you,
does
you
something for Shekinah for once.
you and I can hope and pray that they stay together for the
Mm-hmm.
for the
For the long
for to be
haul,
able to see him on the TV. But
yes.
we can also prepare ourselves for the worst like we always do, Jonathan. I always prepare myself for the worst, and I know you prepare yourself for the worst as well. So we can always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, is like I always say.
Yeah,
Mm.
we'll see what happens with it. They don't seem to handle issues in the best ways. But I hope that they find some middle ground
Uh-huh.
and can work this out because they are a beautiful couple in my opinion. I feel like they're like
Sure.
Barbie and Ken, an older Barbie and Ken, but Barbie and
Mhm.
Ken nonetheless. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's all we got for this particular review, season 6, episode
So
19 of 90
19.
Day Fiance. The other way. You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHAN 07. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Press the thumbs up button for us. Leave your comments. Let us know your thoughts on the couples that we're discussing in this 90 Day Fiance the other way. Also, be sure to press the notification bell. Share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody out here know that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Dustin, go ahead and give us your social media.
My Instagram is Dustin Butler 700. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. And I want to thank for Jonathan as always for being there, and also being there for he's my best friend. So thank you for always being there, and I'll be thank you very much, Jonathan. I can't thank you from the bottom. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Dustin. Love you so much. Thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. Join us next week, same time, same place, same
Same beautiful
beautiful
faces.
faces. And until then, y'all, we'll say goodbye for now. Hope y'all have a wonderful week. Stay warm out there. It's starting to feel like winter, y'all. So put on those winter coats, y'all. Love you
Yeah.
guys for watching. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
Bye, y'all.